In the late 2000s and early 2010s, Kyle Larson established himself as a top talent in open-wheel dirt track racing, particularly USAC. Perhaps his most notable accomplishment during this time was winning the 2011 Four Crown Nationals at Eldora in the USAC Midget, Sprint Car, and Silver Crown categories on the same day. Larson soon caught the attention of famed team owner Chip Ganassi. While Larson was interested in driving for Ganassi's IndyCar team, he would instead start to compete in NASCAR. For 2012, he would compete part-time in the NASCAR Truck Series for Turner Motorsports in a partnership with Chip Ganassi Racing, all the while running for the Pro Series East Championship with Rev Racing.
Kyle Larson, one of the drivers that will be making his Camping World Truck Series debut tonight, but he'll have to go to the back of the field because he was a driver who had a problem shifting during practice earlier, overrevved the engine. They had to change the motor on that.
Yeah, we had a couple of those. Ty Dillon also in the 3 truck.
Which is crazy unusual. You never hardly see that, but I hear the guys were trying to knock it out of gear and knocked it into the wrong gear. So learning process when you're that young, just getting going.
How about young Kyle Larson has been able to make the move up to the 15th position after starting in the back.
Not bad. Just like Johnny Sauter, that's a good move for that kid. Ty Dillon has only made it up to the 12th spot, so he's been able to pretty much match what Ty's done. So great job for Kyle.
Yeah, a lot of talent doing a great job. 3rd in points in the K&N Pro Series East, including a win already at Gresham.
How about the 4 of Kyle Larson? He's going to pass Jason Leffler
into the top 10.
So great run by Kyle Larson.
I'm telling you guys, I saw this young man down in the garage area earlier today, and I didn't know who he was at first, and I didn't think he was old enough to have a license yet. And then you hear about all the racing he's doing, winning races in the K&N Series, racing sprint cars and midgets all over the country, and certainly knows how to drive one of these trucks. And you can see there he's a young man and doing a great job.
And amazingly enough, a lot of times when a driver will make their first start in the Camping World Truck Series, it's going to be on a short track. But not with Kyle Larson. He's on a 1.5-mile, very fast racetrack, very tough. And he's running very well.
I think what enabled him to do that is the fact that he ran the ARCA race at Michigan, a 2-mile track, just a couple of weeks ago.
You could hear the spotter giving him a lot of advice, and that's great advice he's getting right there. He said, did you see the 18 get loose under the 3? Just beware. When you get down there, your truck's going to want to do the same thing. So be steady and be careful, but when you get down on the inside of them, beware.
A learning experience for Kyle Larson. How about a guy breaking into the top 10, though? Kyle Larson now running in the 9th spot, Hermie.
Yeah, Rick, and we talk about how important laps and experience are in this type of racing for a guy like Kyle Larson. Obviously having a very solid night, and he's learning a lot now about what lines to use on the racetrack. And what he did when the 3 truck of Ty Dillon started catching him on the racetrack, he simply moved up the racetrack in turns 1 and 2, took the air off the nose of Ty Dillon, and has slowly started to pull away again. He has a lot of experience on this team with his crew chief, Trent Owens. They're talking to him lap by lap. The only unique thing is they're doing all the talking. The driver's not saying a word, but he is driving a very, very smart race so far.
How about what he has been able to do already this season? 3rd in the K&N East points. He's got a win at Gresham Motorsports Park. Finished 13th in his ARCA debut at Michigan. Looking to improve upon that in his first NASCAR start, at least in the top 3 series here in the Truck Series.
As you can see, he swept the 4 Crown Nationals at Eldora all the same night. That Sprint Cars, Midgets, and Silver Crown. Incredible effort by this young man.
Yeah, nominee for last year's Speed Performer of the Year. Pretty impressive young man. Oh, around goes Cale Gale. And the 29 of Parker Kligerman looks as though he got into the wall.
Straight, hold on. Spin it. Log it out. Good job.
Oh, good job to the very end.
Yeah,
it looked like he had that baby saved. And he
hit, boy. I don't think he hit nothing, did you? I hit hard on the left.
Yeah, you see the damage to the left front.
We think it might be the 4 of Kyle Larson that got into that 33. Take a look.
There's Kyle down on the bottom of the racetrack. He gets loose on the bottom, has to chase it up the hill, runs out of room, made contact with Cale.
Watch this job that Cale does. Uses the wall a little bit as an assist. Looks like he's heading in the right direction, but it just was out of control on him. And so close to keeping it out of that wall. Bam, right at the end.
See Jason White just in front of the 4 of Kyle Larson.
That's a battle for the 10th spot right there. Kyle Larson had dropped back behind Miguel Paludo, and now he's gotten back by Paludo, going after Jason White for the 10th spot. The top 10 in your first race would be a good feather in his cap.
Very impressive run for the 4 of Kyle Larson. Still on the lead lap, Clay Greenfield in the 68, Paulie Haraka in the 5. Those guys are running 18th and 17th respectively.
Yeah, good solid top 20 runs for those trucks if they can finish it off here to the end.
Justin Lofton involved in an incident earlier tonight. He's running in the 16th spot with some damage to that truck.
Hermie, from East Cars to 410 sprints, Kyle Larson will drive anything, and tonight you come home in your very first start with a top 10. You satisfied?
Oh yeah. I didn't get much practice, so to get a top 10 in my first truck start with really no laps before today is really satisfying. You know, Trent Owens gave me a great truck with, you know, I got to thank Turner Motorsports and Chip Ganassi for giving me the opportunity to run tonight, and you know, big thanks to those guys, and you know, hope we can get some more races throughout the year.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah, I'm almost 20 years old, so I have a driver's license, but got a few speeding tickets, so you know, hope we don't get my license taken away. But yeah, I'm 20. I know I look like I'm probably 12, but I'm almost 20.
Well, and not only is he 20, guys, but he's also winning lots of races, and he has a great debut tonight, finishing 10th.
How fun was that?
Yeah.
For a good kid.
You know, his crew chief, Trent Owens, just won the last race in the Nationwide Series at Road America. Very impressive. 2 performances back-to-back for Trent Owens.
And Larson is currently running in the 8th spot. This is the battle for that 8th position. Joey Coulter to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle's doing another amazing job. We saw him perform at a level, missing crashes this year, better than we've seen veterans do it. So this kid's got the talent, and he's running well again. Check out this battle. Coulter's running in 6th. PK and Larson are all over. Watch Kyle Larson come off, gets too high into the wall.
That's the previous lap, then jerks it away from it and saves that truck. Now he goes back by PK, who passed him after he got into the wall.
Look, sideways again.
Sideways again.
This is fun.
Just his 2nd truck race, and he's getting a little bit of an adrenaline rush right here. 11 laps of racing to go.
There it is right there, side by side for 6th.
That Ford truck has Chip Ganassi Racing all over it. I think Chip's got him a good one there.
How impressive has Kyle Larson been as well in his 2 Camping World Truck Series starts, now battling to see if he can get a top 5 finish. His first race was 10th.
I was going to say, see if he can get off this corner without bouncing off the wall. He went all the way up to it.
Joey Coulter able to get back by. Here comes Nelson Piquet Jr. in the 30.
We've seen Larson not be afraid of getting sideways at all. And that's what you got to do here in Atlanta if you want to survive. And he did it there and survived, but he's lost a spot.
Matt Crafton has the best seat in the house to that battle. Crafton running in the 9th spot just behind Larson and Piquet Jr.
Ooh, he had to get out of the throttle there in the center of the corner and off the corner.
Almost up into the wall once again is Kyle Larson in the 4. Going for everything he can with under 10 laps of racing to go.
Look at Larson way down low on the track. You see the front end of the truck dragging on the ground. Then all the way to the high side on the exit sideways. We're just using all the room we can find.
Guys, the gap between 1 and 2 has shrunk. It was a second. Now it's 0.6 of a second as we have 8 laps of racing to go.
Yeah, big pickup by Ty that last time. He beat Kyle by 0.3 of a second to close it within about 0.6.
These 2 continue to battle for position. Joey Coulter just in front of Kyle Larson.
And then the most exciting laps are being turned by the Ford truck of Kyle Larson, because most of his
have been sideways.
Are sideways, going from the bottom of the track to the top of the track, and he's still after Coulter as hard as he can go. They've broken away a little bit from PK. That will help him if he's able to get alongside Coulter again. And look at the battle for the lead.
Kyle Green Larson. Light going into turn number 3. Kyle Larson takes the top spot away.
How about that now? Kyle Larson just fresh off the K&N East Championship, going for a truck win.
What about that kid? He knew he needed to be low when he got into turn 3. Heck, he was all the way off the racetrack. Oh!
Around goes Brendan Gaughan. And Ramon Quiroga got into the back of him. Ty Dillon also involved in this. Ray, what's the Ford team talking about?
Well, Mike Hillman Jr. is crew chief in this truck this weekend, and you guys last pitted on 71. You got enough fuel to go the distance?
We're pretty close. We're within a lap right now, so I think we're going to be okay. We'll probably get another caution, then we'll be plenty good. We're just worried about the green, white, checkered right now. This Turner Motorsports Silverado is really good. I'm just really proud of all these guys. Everybody puts a lot of extra effort in when we run a 4th truck, so everybody at the shop, everybody that's here with me, I really appreciate all their hard work.
We've heard a lot about this young driver. Obviously, he won the championship. What's your impression so far and the chances you've had to work with him?
He's pretty awesome. I think he's doing pretty good tonight.
okay. I think he's right.
I like that. He's okay tonight.
Yeah.
Man, what a move he made to get the lead, too. 3 wide down on the bottom going into turn 3. Drove off the track and emerged with the top spot.
And green flag back in the air. 36 laps to go.
Pretty darn good restart for Kyle Larson. How about Brian Scott now? He's going to take advantage of that inside and get by Timothy Peters.
3 to go. 2 when they get to the stripe. Green flag back in the air.
Contact. Brian Scott's leaning on Kyle Larson.
Larson dives into turn 1. Side by side. Here comes Brian Scott on the high side. He'll take the lead as they come out of 2.
What a great job by Brian Scott. What a veteran move by him.
Yeah, he had a couple of runs on the outside on restarts. Wasn't able to get it done, but when it counted, baby, he got it done.
Brian Scott, when he comes around this time, if he sees the white flag and gets to it, next flag will determine the race winner.
Joey Coulter's been able to get around Timothy Peters for the 3rd spot.
Kyle Larson come back, reel in that 18. Not enough time, too much distance. Kyle Larson running second, a very impressive performance tonight. But in the end, Brian Scott coming through 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, second career win in the Truck Series. Brian Scott wins at Phoenix.
A heck of a run. Restart got you at the end. Tell us about your night leading up to that final restart.
Yeah, I was really down on myself in the beginning. I really felt like I lost a bunch of spots there, and Mike Holman Jr. made a great call to come in and get 4 there when nobody else did and fill up on fuel, and got us a bunch of track position and, you know, kind of put us up in this situation. And man, I had him beat there in that green flag run. We got a restart there, and he took the air off of me getting into 1, and I got loose. And he just worked momentum around me, but you know, second's not bad on my 3rd truck start. So hopefully we go to Homestead next week and get a win for these Turner guys and Chip Ganassi Racing and everybody that helps out.
Very impressive effort for Kyle Larson. He comes up second.
10th, 6th, and 2nd for Kyle Larson in his 3 starts.
See Kyle Larson down on the inside of Parker Kligerman. He's been working on making this pass for a few laps now. Can he get it done? He's down on the bottom, got a lap truck up ahead of Kligerman. It looks like maybe that's going to provide the pick and the help he needs to make this pass.
Oh, sideways.
Loose once again. Back in, kicks out on that 4 of Kyle Larson, has to catch it. Not able to get by that 7.
And I said all that contingent on him not spinning out, and he almost did. So look how loose Larson is. I think that's impressive. He's running up front. We've seen him 2 or 3 times get that truck completely sideways and yet hang on to it and still continue to pursue Parker Kligerman. Is he going to make it 3 wide?
Yes, he is. Parker Kligerman got held up a little bit by Jeff Agnew in the 07.
Uh-oh, hang on to her, Kyle.
Here comes Kligerman once again on the high side with the momentum. He's not going to let that 4 pass him.
This is when Kyle Larson really needs to be careful and watch what he's doing. He's a rookie. He knows this truck is loose. He's able to hang on to it when he's by himself. But if Parker Kligerman is able to hang on that right rear fender, he'll spin that baby out. And looks like he's going to make that pass. And that's another great lesson learned for a rookie.
And he's trapped and clear. Good job.
We know he runs a lot of dirt.
Yeah.
He does a lot of slide jobs. And that was a slide job right there, and he made it work. And Parker Kligerman was good enough to give him a break, too.
Watch him drive away now. That thing's free and fast when it's all by itself.
Kyle Larson's made his way up into the 2nd spot. Parker Kligerman's dropped back into the 4th position now as we're seeing Nelson Piquet Jr. use that high line, the momentum once again to gain spots.
How about Kyle Larson going for the lead on the bottom of the racetrack?
Trying to go by one of the winningest drivers on 1.5-mile racetracks, Kyle Busch, and Kyle Larson is going to take the lead away.
Don't you know that Kyle Busch said, where did that kid come from?
Yeah, he needs someone to explain that one to him. Very rarely on fresh tires does anyone just drive around Kyle Busch. We saw Kyle Larson do it, though.
Might have shocked him just a bit. We see Kyle Busch work to the bottom of the racetrack now, trying to get that spot back. But Kyle Larson out in clean air takes the lead away here at Homestead, Miami.
He made that pass on the bottom of the racetrack, too. You just have to keep that in mind when these positions get important late in the going, when these guys start dive bombing and trying that slide job. You got to know that Kyle Larson can get it done down there.
See, Kyle Busch gains a little bit of ground, but really no more than about 3 or 4 feet.
3 to go. 1 point separate our top 2 in the championship. Here comes Kyle Larson on the bottom of the racetrack.
Ty Dillon can't afford to give up any positions. Kyle Larson is going to fall in right behind him.
And James Busher can't get passed by Timothy Peters right now. James Busher trying to hang on to the spot he's in, but Timothy Peters behind him.
Oh, Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson spins sideways. He gets into the three into the wall. Caution comes out with 3 to go.
Ryan Blaney hard after contact with Kyle Larson. Where's James Busher?
James Busher trying to...
There he is on the inside of the racetrack going by the 11 of Top 09.
There's your championship leader. You hear from Kyle Larson and Chris Devoto.
Yeah, Rick, Kyle Larson, a champion himself. You know what it's like to run for a championship. You were leading laps, running for a race win, but you were against a driver there who was also running for every position.
Yeah, it's tough that, I got into a point contender there, but, I'm racing for the win also, and I haven't seen a replay right now, but, I kind of felt like I had position getting into the corner, and, I was down to the apron, so it's hard to say right now. I might have been at fault. I don't know until I see replay, but I think it's just hard racing, and, it sucks that I took out Ty, but like I said, it's just racing.
Thanks, Kyle. We're glad you're okay as well.
In 2012, Larson started 4 races in the Truck Series. He got a best start of 2nd at Homestead and a best finish of 2nd place at Phoenix. In all, Larson finished in the top 10 in 3 races. He led 91 laps during the season and finished 35th in points.